Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fans of the patriarchy all over the world, my name is Robert Huddleston. We're going to discuss manliness, because apparently there's a lot of misconceptions about manliness. Let's start with a few really obvious ones. Men fight when it's necessary, when someone's taking from you, when someone's harming you or your loved ones. Then you fight. Otherwise, you don't go pick fights. You're a bully. That's not manly. But when called upon, when fighting is necessary, a man fights. A man raises children that he fathered. If you fathered a child biologically, you raise it. That's your responsibility. No two ways about it. If you're dating mom, if you're in an intimate relationship with mom, if you're humping mom, and she has children that live with her, they are your responsibility. If you're humping mom, kids are yours. Oh, you don't like that? I don't care. That's how manliness works. If there's children in the house and you're intimate with mom, those kids are your responsibility. If you don't like that, leave mom alone. There's some pretty good basics. Take those and assimilate them. Let's move on to something a little more broad. Man's allowed to wear shorts. Man's allowed to wear short shorts. He's got pleasing legs to look at and he's willing to fight. Men don't wear dresses. Harry Styles was recently on a magazine cover. I think it was GQ. You know, GQ puts out some pretty cool videos on YouTube, but the magazine's unmanly trash. If you're reading GQ, if you're staff at GQ, you're not manly. Don't look to GQ for manliness. That's not manly. Harry Styles wearing a dress isn't manly. Men don't wear dresses. Can I wear a kilt? Are you Scottish? Do you own a kilt? Do you know anybody from Scotland? Chances are, if you're asking, can I wear a kilt? No. If you're asking, can I wear a kilt? Then no, you can't wear a kilt. A kilt's a dress to you. So men, don't wear dresses. You're not supposed to. Logan Paul, 6'3", 220 pounds, fighting when he doesn't have to. Pretty manly. Says, yeah, I don't see what the big deal is. What's more manly than being comfortable with yourself? It's not what we're talking about. What's more manly than being comfortable with yourself is an adage that applies to the county dance in 1961, and all the rich farmers and businessmen are going to show up wearing their seersucker suits, and because I dig ditches for a living, I can only show up in my jean jacket. But I'm going to show up in my jean jacket and kiss the girl and punch the guy's lights out and drink the beer because I'm cool. That's being comfortable with yourself to the point of manliness. Wearing a jean jacket to the black tie affair. Not wearing a dress on the cover of GQ. Again, I'd like to say in front of millions of men, but real men aren't reading GQ. So if you're reading GQ, stop it. If you're considering wearing a dress, stop it. It's a dress. It's not a kilt. You can't wear it. It's not manly. Let's go deep into manly philosophy and let's talk about Arnold. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold's the epitome of man. Right? Arnold's pretty damn manly. I say we should denounce Arnold. I say we should cast him out of our manly ranks. The devil sent Arnold to deceive you about what manliness really was. Arnold was gifted. He was 6'2". He was 215 pounds when he was 15 years old. All right, and that wasn't enough for Arnold. That 15. And he was already a strength champion, right? He began taking steroids. So at 20, I think he rolled on the stage at Mr. Universe at like 240. There are plenty of 6'2", 20-year-olds that are 240. But Arnold wasn't meant to do that. That's called biological usury. Stole that from Owen Benjamin, the Big Bear. Peace be upon. Biological usury. He was not meant to be 240 pounds of muscle at 20 years old. Right? Like, I'm not 6'2" now. I'm not 215 pounds of muscle now. Right? Arnold's literally started head and shoulders above me. On a mountain in Bavaria, where all the food was organic, before there wasn't organic food. And at 15, the devil told him to take steroids. So he took all the steroids, and he pumped all the iron, and he pumped out movies and books and magazines. And we all did his workout that was not realistic because we're not 6 foot, 215 pound Bavarian strength champions. Some of us got some work out of a lot of the stuff, Arnold. You know, if you're in relatively good shape, if you have okay joints, if you've never been fat, if you don't sit like this, if you just happen to be a thin person who's still pretty well connected physically, well, the bench and the dead and the squat and another pull and an overhead push just might be what you need. Henry Rollins, 5'6" basic lifts, served him his whole life, but he said he was a skinny kid. Most of us shouldn't pick up Arnold's book and do what Arnold did. A, we were never in the shape Arnold was to begin with. Arnold didn't start with that program. And then B, Arnold didn't even do that program. He did that program and then took steroids. You do that program and hurt the next day. So he never, I guess, we all knew he was on steroids, but he never came out and he's just like, hard work will get you there. Well, no, man. Hard work didn't get you there. Now Arnold's a vegan. Well, the Most High God says that all those fleshy animals are under my dominion. But not Arnold. Arnold says, despite eating meat his entire career, he's telling you to not eat meat. He's telling you to do so as a vegan, without steroids. Looking back, he didn't need meat this whole time, he says. Well, that's a lie, Arnold. You needed all that meat and all those steroids. You nor none of your contemporaries, no one at that level ever did so on a steroidless vegan diet. Raw vegan diet. Didn't happen. No one. Not one ever. If someone could, they would to prove it. Can't be done. If someone could do that today, they would be a vegan billionaire. Can't be done. Arnold says, in Luciferian hindsight, in unmanly hindsight, don't eat that red-blooded flesh. You can eat green shit and go sit down and work out and become Uberman. Arnold was never those guys he portrayed. He was never Dutch from Predator. He was never Conan. He was a beauty pageant winner on drugs. Not very manly. Corrupted a bunch of men. Stop listening to Arnold. Let's recap. If you had a kid, raise it. If you're intimate with a woman who has kids, raise them. Don't wear a dress. Wear short shorts, but you better be willing to fight over it. Fight only if you have to. Don't listen to Arnold. Unless you have a real hormonal issue, unless you have AIDS or cancer or some dystrophy, don't take steroids. If you're an average healthy man, steroids are the opposite of manly. Unless you have a real injury, a real need for chemical intervention, steroids will steal your manliness. The same way veganism will. Don't listen to Arnold. Be a man. God bless. Like, share, subscribe. Happy Thanksgiving.